Welcome back. This is the Cruise Dynasty podcast, and we're back at it again with another episode. Bringing in that good shit. I'm here with the Craft Man as always. What's going on, Craft Man?
You know, doing the same old thing, talking fantasy football, saying hello, drinking Modelo. And that's what we're doing tonight.
Yep. I'm smoking some blunts, smoking some runts. Nah, I'm just kidding, but I'm definitely chilling on a Saturday. Been smoking a little bit. Craft Man's drinking.
I'm not.
So we just chilling, man. We just chilling, and we just, you know what? That last episode we did that y'all heard was positive. I'm ready to talk some shit. I'm ready to hate on some guys a little bit. But before we go, add me at Crew Matt Hamm, add Craftman at Craftman Pack Fan, and add the podcast. You know, you can add it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you got a place where you listen to podcasts and you can't find the Cruise Dynasty podcast, hit me up and we'll try to get it on there. What you say, Craft Man?
It sounds good to me, man. Just, you know, we appreciate everybody that listens, and
Hell yeah.
we can get big in this world one of these days.
All right, so we're going to talk about players that we are avoiding. Avoid these players in your startup, dynasty, superflex, tight end, premium drafts. These are players that, all right, Kraft, we were talking about it before. Kraft just says he just don't like these guys. And I'm just going to say I don't like these guys at their values, at some of them. And then there's going to be some players that I don't like. And I think they ass. And then there's going to be some players that I think I just want to go a different direction. So, Kraft, anything to say about these players? This episode might not even go too long unless we just really feel the hate.
Which we do sometimes. I'm just going to hate, double hate on some of these guys because, you know, some of the ADPs are all jacked up, but also I just don't like some of these guys. So that's the direction we're going in today.
All right. Real quick, I need to make sure I'm looking at my right list. Okay. All right, Kraft, you ready, man? The first one I got is I'm not gonna harp on this one too much. I got Justin Fields. He's going too high. He's going ahead of Trevor Lawrence, and I don't like it. So that's all. That's all I got to say about that one. That's not one to gripe about. I just took Justin Fields in a startup. Off the top of my head, though, Kraft, is Justin Fields going ahead of Lamar Jackson right now?
No, they're about dead equal, which it should be Lamar by a long shot.
Right. Okay. All right, but to move on, I don't want to stay on that one at all. But this one's one that me and you can both agree on, and that is Anthony Richardson. Why do we hate him, though, Kraft?
I just cannot stand Anthony Richardson because of his ADP. It's going at ADP number 20. He's going early second round in startups. And my problem with Anthony Richardson is not the upside. I understand he has a lot of upside. I took him in a rookie draft at the 102. I'm not against Anthony Richardson because I think that he has the talent to become great. But in a startup, you hear it all the time. You can't lose or you can't win your draft in the first and second round, but you can lose it. And that's just not a risk that I'm willing to take. I would like Anthony Richardson to be my second or third quarterback, not my first, because it's just too much of a risk for me, especially right there. You're going to have to take him. It could be your second quarterback. Maybe, you're sitting there looking at Deshaun Watson, Anthony Richardson, or something like that. But even in that case, I'll just pass, go ahead and fill my positions up. But I would be scared to death having him as my QB1 in a Superflex league.
And I think even the biggest Anthony Richardson fanboys that would take him at the 102, I think even the biggest fanboys would say 20th that's got to be way too high. I mean, this dude's going. If you're picking Anthony Richardson, this is pretty much drafting him before his rookie year, drafting him at his peak, is what I feel like, Kraft.
I
So
mean,
to me, it's like his value can only go down from here. This is super high. Shoot, we just did the startup, that big time startup with these guys, and Will Savage took him what at the
yeah,
two or something like
yeah.
that. Fucking insane. And I don't even think Anthony Richardson's that good. So you know me, and when we did our rookie breakdowns, I wasn't really that high, but I can respect the fact that he has a rushing upside that is good for fantasy football. But
But he really wasn't even that great of a rusher in college, though. About 600 yards last year at Florida.
I mean,
Lamar Jackson was an absolute beast. So that the people that want to compare Anthony Richardson to Cam Newton and Lamar as far as rushing goes, I say he's more like a Jalen Hurts type rusher, where it's going to be he can get out of the pocket and he can make some things happen, but he's not as elusive as like Lamar. But he's a big body, more like Cam, who's going to be. He could rush for 10 touchdowns. It's possible. But I'm
yeah.
not seeing like 1,000 rushing yards like Justin Fields had last year, plus the 10 touchdowns. I can see one or the other. I'm seeing 500 rushing yards, maybe 10 touchdowns at the peak.
And we can kind of pivot from here and talk about because you got the other rookie quarterbacks on your list too. I didn't write them down, but I'm in total agreement with you. Because Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud are going in the second round as well. And
Yeah.
to me, that's just way too high. I mean, there could be a situation like my man Akil took Bryce Young in the second round of the startup draft. I could buy into it because I do like Bryce Young. I mostly feel better drafting them guys in the third round. I didn't think they'd go off in the second round like that, but according to ADP, tons of people are taking them in the second. Um, and I don't know if I just see the upside as far as like I could see Bryce Young having some top 12 finishes. I just don't know if I see that in Stroud or I want to say Richardson too. I mean, I guess I see it, but I don't know. I got to see it with Richardson, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the rookie quarterbacks, we all know they don't perform well in their first year.
Right.
And you're getting them in the mid-second round. Just draft A.J. Brown. Just draft Garrett Wilson and Amon-Ra and Jalen Waddle. Just draft them guys in the second round and wait and pick a quarterback that you know. Because Bryce Young's upside is probably you're gonna hate on this. I like Bryce Young, but his upside is like Kirk Cousins to me. So it may be a borderline QB1 any given year, but I'm not spending a second round startup pick on younger Kirk Cousins. So
Right.
I'm all right. I'm good. And C.J. Stroud is the same. He's going in the early third round. Just give me the quarterbacks that I know have done it a little bit. The age, it's not like when you're drafting running backs, you got a 22-year-old versus a 28-year-old. At quarterback position, I'm fine taking the 28-year-old or the 27-year-old or even the 30-year-old over the rookie that I know, like Dak Prescott or Tua or somebody like that. Even Daniel Jones. I'm fine taking Daniel Jones 3 rounds later than taking Stroud.
Yeah. Yep, I'm with you. Go ahead and give me somebody for me.
I'll give you just one. Real quick, we ain't gonna harp on this one. It's just Trey Lance. I mean, I'll draft the starting quarterback like 5 rounds later. Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's it for me. He hasn't played since like 2017. I mean, I'm good.
Right. I mean, I ain't even gonna do it tonight. I mean, you know how it is with Trey Lance. This dude ain't played as I mean, damn crap. This dude ain't even playing football in a long time, so except for 2 games last year. So I don't you know how I feel about it. What else you got for me, Kraft?
I got TJ Hawkinson. I'm gonna move on to tight ends. This is my only tight end. And I got him there just because his ADP is absolutely ridiculous. It's at 47. He's going in the 3rd round. TJ Hawkinson didn't have Jordan Addison there last year. Addison is here now. They got KJ Osborne. I understand he was the tight end 2 in PPR leagues. But before that, TJ Hawkinson wasn't anything. And you could say, he switched teams. Kirk Cousins likes to throw to him more. And I do think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be probably maybe a top 5 tight end this year, top 6. But to draft him there, you're just passing up on so much good talent. And he's going 19 picks before Goddard and he's going way before Kittle. So I just don't like the spot he's going. It's not that I don't like Hawkinson. It's just that it just seems way too early for me with Addison coming in. It's not the same situation as last year.
Yeah, so where's Hawkinson going right now? Because I do like Hawkinson.
He's going at ADP 47 right now. There's a couple of receivers going around that range. You got Drake London, Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf. Addison's going right there, even after that. So,
yeah,
I'm just not drafting Hawkinson because I don't think that the bar that he's going to set is going to be that much ahead of just say a guy you can get incredibly late like Njoku. What's going to be what's going to put him that much over the top to take Hawkinson in the 3rd round instead of Njoku in the 11th round in your startup drafts? It has to be tremendous for that to work out.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe you because I always said I was doing these mocks before we did our big startup, and I was saying if Hawkinson came to me in the 4th, I would consider taking him, but he just would never come to me. And there was no chance he was coming. I don't even remember where he went, but
Yeah,
I'm
he
with
went
you.
early.
All right, the only tight end I got is Kyle Pitts, and I'm just starting to get off. I was just letting it sink in, and I was just the drafting Bijan. I was gonna let it sink in. I didn't really know what to think about Kyle Pitts, but I'm just gonna be real. I don't think Kyle Pitts is what. It's just not gonna pan out to what I think it would have been better, honestly, if Matt Ryan was still here. I'm just being honest. If old as he is and shit, you know what I'm saying? But like the target share, even though it might be there for Kyle Pitts, they're not going to be throwing the ball but 25 times a game or something like that. So it's like, what's really going to happen? I like Drake London. There's competition just at the wide receiver spot. This team's going to be run heavy as it is. My guy Big Dunk if he's listening to this, he's probably freaking the fuck out right now. He just took Kyle Pitts at the 3-1, and everybody was like, "Whoa!" So, what you say, Kraft?
You've seen how terrible Pitts was last year. He did get injured at some point, but if you had Kyle Pitts and you drafted him in redraft, you were upset. And what did they do in the offseason? They still got the same head coach who likes to run the ball, and then they drafted another running back, and Drake London is even better. I'm not going to say Kyle Pitts is going to have a worse year than last year because it can't get much worse. It was awful.
Right.
But sometimes, like you said in the last episode, like the media just stays on these guys. The talent. But Kyle Pitts played 10 games last year and was the tight end 33. He was awful. I like the talent. And I understand that Marcus Mariota overthrew him on most of his deep balls, but I don't like Drake London in Dynasty, and I don't like Kyle Pitts in Dynasty because the Falcons don't throw the ball, and they didn't throw the ball last year, and they drafted a running back this year. So I'm not real excited, and they got Desmond Ridder at quarterback. So until that changes, then I might be a little bit more excited about Pitts.
All right.
I hate him. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't hate Kyle Pitts. I don't like the situation.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say I hate him. I'm just gonna say he's going real high for my liking, and I don't know. It could work out. Uh,
This is one.
but
This is one that we could just be completely wrong on,
right,
you know,
true.
and just look like
And,
idiots.
I mean, he's the second tight end coming off so he's going ahead of Mark Andrews. Wait, is that right? Going ahead of because
Yeah,
Kelsey's still going one, right?
He's going ahead of. He's going ahead of Andrews in startups, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, Kraft, let's get us another one.
Hey, I just wanted to. I was just looking at the startups. I'm gonna give you the other one here in a second, but you know how we did our startup rankings, our dynasty rankings, and I had Kelsey at number one. Everybody was like, "Why? But why?" Kelsey's going like 12 picks before both of them guys in startup, so I think a lot of people still gonna try to go for it and
Yep.
contend this year.
Yep.
But I'll go ahead and move on to my next one. It's a big name, and I like the player. It's Christian McCaffrey going at ADP 13, so that's the first pick in the second round. I just don't like where he's going
Yeah.
because I mean, you got Brees Hall who's going. Let's see where Brees Hall is going. He's going about 2 picks later. Jonathan Taylor's going 3 picks later. I would rather have both of them guys. Elijah Mitchell is really nothing to just forget about. He's a good running back who stole goal line work when McCaffrey was healthy. So, and they're a good team. And what I worry about with McCaffrey is that they're going to want to keep him healthy because throughout his career he's had injury problems, and they're going to limit his workload. It's not going to be like it was with the Panthers where they were just always losing and having to dump down passes to him in the fourth quarter. I think they're going to use Mitchell at least for 30 to 40% of the snaps, and I'm not high on McCaffrey as far as his ADP and redraft either. So I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
Nah, I'm with you, man. You said he's going 13. I'm just not going to take a running back that high. At least there's a little bit of an argument for taking Bijan because this dude's for real about to play about 6-7 years or something like that. Christian McCaffrey, you know, it's just got to come to an end at some point. I'm not saying it's going to come to an end, but he's older. His shelf life is a little bit shorter. I'm just not going to take him a running back that high period, like in a super flex startup. I mean, I'm just gonna wait and draft running backs way later. So I'm with you. That one's yeah.
A lot of people would disagree, though. I mean, I've always been on the McCaffrey side. I always thought he was the most talented pass catching running back in the league by far, and he's great runner in between the tackles. He's probably the most talented running back in the NFL at this point, but I just don't want to take him there in the first pick of the second round. You got any more for us there, Matt?
Yeah, I got me a running back. And I got me a let me make sure I'm on my real list though. I put old Najee Harris on mine, and I'm starting to get a little down on Najee because all right, Kraft, real quick, is Najee the 13th running back coming off the board? Two.
You're gonna have to wait for me to count, but I
No.
disagree though. I disagree with what you're about to say because I love
I
Najee.
just, I do think they're gonna, I think Najee's more of a volume play, but the thing is Najee is never gonna get back to that top 5 dynasty where he was like I had him ranked in the top 5 in dynasty, but he's never gonna get those receptions that old Big Ben was just dumping it down to him. That's never happening again. So that top, that little upside right there, it just seems like it's not going to happen, and we'll just have to see. This offense is, I like Kenny Pickett, but what do we think of the Steelers' offense is about to be? I mean, it's not going to be a top half offense or anything like that. So, I mean, I
I
do like that Najee's the bell cow and stuff like that, but you know.
I got a whole different view on the Steelers in general. I think their offense is going to be much better this year. I like Kenny Pickett. Like we said, rookie quarterbacks usually don't perform very well at all statistically in their first year. And I actually like what I've seen with my eyeballs from Kenny Pickett. And where Najee's going is fine with me. He's going at ADP 46. Saquon's going at ADP 24. Najee's 1 year younger. I really don't see that much difference in them two players right there. Saquon's definitely more explosive, but as far as ADP goes, I would rather have Najee in the 3rd to 4th round rather than Saquon in the 2nd.
I pass on both of them. I ain't gonna take any of those guys up there and that high. Personally, I'm definitely gonna grab wide receivers. I mean, I could probably make a whole list of running backs, maybe. So, you know what I mean, Kraft. Just from the style of the way I draft, I mean, I would just rather go farther down and just piece it up around my wide receivers. So I don't really want to be building around Saquon and CMC and even Najee. I mean, I do like Najee, but I don't know. It's a little too high for me, man.
Yeah, we got a little disagreement on that one, but the two running backs that I'm about to mention, I know you love, and I can't stand neither one of them. I ain't gonna say I can't stand them. I just don't like the draft capital, the teams they play for, and it's Dameon Pierce, ADP 58. He is going in the 5th round. I know you took him there because you're dumb, but he's going before Dobbins. He's going before Mixon. He's going before Sanders.
I ain't take him in the 5th, I don't think.
I don't know if you took him in the 5th, but
6th.
The world is taking him above Miles Sanders and Dobbins and DeAndre Swift, which I know you're not high on DeAndre Swift, but
no.
I mean, I'm out on Dameon Pierce, and I'm also out on Rachaad White. Rachaad White just doesn't impress me much. Like Shania Twain said, that don't impress me much when you got Tom Brady dumping it down, and that's where all your fantasy points come from. But you're one of the worst running backs in the league, running between the tackles. So even though their offensive line was shit, just not high on either one of them.
Yep, definitely in disagreement with them too. Dameon Pierce, he is the guy in Houston. Like bringing in Singletary does nothing for me. I don't really think he's even going to cut into it too much. And then Rachaad White, I think a lot of people are down on him. They talk about his rushing. He did average 3.8 yards a carry or whatever the fuck stat you always bring up, but he did
3.75. Don't give him that 0.5 that he don't deserve.
He caught a lot of balls. I know it was with Tom Brady, but then they say, well, Nick Chubb, he didn't catch a lot of balls with Baker Mayfield, but Kareem Hunt had some success somehow, some way, and he was catching the ball. So Rachaad White to the moon. They didn't draft nobody, so easy.
Yeah, we just disagree on that. They did get Sean Tucker, but yeah, I'm undrafted. Undrafted. Is this just a volume play though? That's what I'm worried about. It just might be a volume play for a year, and they're just going to move on.
I mean, David Montgomery was a volume play, and people loved him for multiple seasons.
He's been good for years. David Montgomery has been good for years.
What's his yards per carry? I bet it's 3 point something for his career.
You just keep on talking. You just keep on talking while I look it up.
That man's just so trash, anyways. All right, here we go. I got another one. I got I've got DeAndre Swift on my list. Dude, the dude's just I was never high on Miles Sanders until he left Philly. This dude's just gonna be over there in the committee. I mean, Gainwell's gonna get some work. Rashad Penny's gonna get some work. Jalen Hurts is gonna rush for a lot of touchdowns. Last good time to sell high on DeAndre Swift, but I'm avoiding drafting him. DeAndre Swift really ain't on my board, and because I'm down here in the South, so I know some Georgia Bulldog fans are gonna go draft him real high, and I know Noah Dick Blower took him like the 6 or something crazy like that. So you know, he ain't on my board. No, I'm avoiding him big time.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna pick DeAndre Swift neither, just because obviously something happened in Detroit where it could have been his work ethic, it could have been anything. Like he had plenty of opportunity.
They said
But
he
to
was
go back,
soft.
exactly. So the Eagles are not soft, and they don't throw to the running back. I mean, we just mentioned Miles Sanders had 20 receptions last year.
Right.
I mean, so DeAndre Swift could be. I'm not gonna even put it as a buzz. He's just one of them. It's like a hallucination that you're having in the desert. What is it called? Where you see the water, and it looks,
A mirage. I thought about a
yeah,
mirage today.
yeah. That's exactly what DeAndre Swift is he's just a mirage. But going back to David Montgomery, he was ass. 3.7, 3.9 yards a
I
carry.
told you, man.
But he's also 222 pounds, and Rashad White is 214. So, I mean,
Uh,
small ass little dude.
Shy White's gonna get the volume, but yeah,
He
we'll just
might.
disagree on them two, man. It is what it is. You got it. What you got for me?
Well, I got Devontae Adams just because he left Green Bay, and
Agreed.
I don't want anything to do with him. He's a piece of crap. But
Yep.
really and truthfully, Jimmy Garoppolo, he did support Debo for a little while, but I'm not drafting Devontae Adams anywhere, and that's just
Yeah.
me. Where he's going doesn't excite me. I'd rather just try to go young right there with the younger guys who could have more talent, or not more talent, but just a little more upside with their age right now that could last a little longer. You got anybody?
Yeah, I got one more running back on my list. I got Devon A Chain. Uh, he's going 28th off the board. That's just too high. I'll
I
take
done,
other guys.
I done figured you out, Matt.
He's going
If
ahead of
you're
Kendre Miller.
yeah, he shouldn't go ahead of Kendre Miller. But if you're an explosive running back, Matt doesn't like you. If you rush for 3.75 yards a carry, Matt's all in.
I hated David Montgomery. I mean,
Hey,
I don't know. I mean
it's
that
always
people
been
people
productive.
toot people tooting David Montgomery's horn this year. So
He's going to be Jamal Williams of last year. That's exactly what. Well, actually, I don't know if I believe that because Jahmyr Gibbs is great, but I'm gonna we'll just skip over them running backs because we've done said enough about them. Their sorry asses.
true.
I got Michael Pittman going at ADP 60 in the 5th round, going above Judy and Terry McLaurin. Michael Pittman was fine when he had a pocket passer, but if there's anything that we don't like about Anthony Richardson, it's his accuracy and his pocket presence.
Right.
And I just can't. And Anthony Richardson is definitely gonna. Well, I wouldn't say definitely. He's most likely going to start this year, and he's going to have plenty of opportunity. And they're just going to keep riding Anthony Richardson for a little while, and I'm not going to be there with Michael Pittman while they're doing that. So I'll,
Yeah.
I'll pass and grab somebody else that I know I'm going to get production from.
Man, it's just crazy how a year changes. Last year, I'm tooting Michael Pittman's horn. He's my guy. And then the next year, he's going in. Where is he going? The 5th round?
Yep, in the 5th round.
And I'm just agreeing with you, man. We got to fade this man, Michael Pittman. I mean, I don't
All
know.
of them.
Yeah,
All
I
of the
mean,
Colts.
I get that Anthony Richardson has a lot of hype, but his hype is coming from the Russian side of things. Michael Pittman last year was a PPR guy. His what yards per reception was super low for the amount of fantasy points he had last year.
A record low.
And
Record low.
so Anthony Richardson is gonna be just peppering this guy with targets, being accurate I'm in a short game. I ain't buying that one. You fade them all these guys. I mean, I have heard reports that he don't look as raw as people say, and I can admit that that's a possibility. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't buying that he's gonna be peppering Michael Pittman with some targets. So you gotta fade Pittman. You gotta fade him.
Yep, you do. Look at Justin Fields last year with the Bears. There was no relevant receivers in that receiving core, and you could say Pittman is more talented, which he probably was more talented than Mooney and the other guys, Equinemius, St. Brown, that the Bears had. But when you're that young at quarterback and your accuracy is questionable, to say the least, I'm not going to get Pittman in any of my leagues where he's going right now for sure.
Another guy I got is George Pickens, is the 25th receiver coming off the board, and look, I just don't know where it fits in with George Pickens. I just think Deontay Johnson, he's still going to get a lot of targets. I mean, the thing with Deontay Johnson last year is he just wasn't scoring no touchdowns. There's just a lot to go around. I do like Kenny Pickett. I think he's solid. I don't think he's nothing special or nothing, but they're still going to run the ball with Najee, and Deontay Johnson's going to get a lot of targets. I mean, he has games where there's 8 or 9 targets. How much are they going to be throwing the football? They still got Pat Freiermuth out there. George Pickens is more of a deep threat too. So I don't know. Kenny Pickett, I like Kenny Pickett. I think he could be a solid quarterback too, maybe. But I don't see the upside in this offense for me to be taking George Pickens. There's just a lot of other guys. I mean, I'm taking Jahan Dotson over George Pickens straight up today. The ADPs be damned. So, what you think about that one, Kraft?
I mean, I really like Pickens, and you got to side either one way or the other, and I side on I think the Steelers' offense is going to be better. George Pickens is a contested ball catcher. He could improve his route running, but the way I look at his career, it's not going to be as good, but DeAndre Hopkins was always a contested ball guy. Right. And he was great, but he could also be Allen Robinson, who started off his career as a contested ball guy, and he looked great. He was making incredible catches, and then, boom, it was over. So I'm siding on – I just think George Pickens is going to be a great NFL receiver in the future. I like him. Plant my flag.
Plant it on it. That's all I got for you, Kraft. What you get? What else you got?
I got Debo. I'm just not drafting him. It has nothing to do with his ADP. I just don't like the fact that there's so many mouths to feed, and he's still going a little earlier than I would like. And I think Brandon Ayuk is coming into his own, so he's going to be a very big part of this offense. So I'm just fading Debo, and that's probably it. We done mentioned the rookie quarterbacks and everybody else that we just can't fucking stand.
Yeah. I might not like Debo at his ADP, but I would say he's a buy low candidate for competing teams. But I like Debo a little bit more than all y'all haters. So, but look, Kraft, it wasn't too negative tonight. I don't think, but these are players to avoid. We are avoiding these guys in drafts. If you want your team to be better, pick and choose the ones you like. I mean, me and Kraft disagreed on some of these, so. Kraft, what else we got to say to these folks out there?
I think I'm good for tonight. We did the people we like, ADPs we like, ADPs we really don't like, people we're avoiding, and players that we are, reach to the sky for. So I think we're good.
All right, man. You can check us out at the Cruise Dynasty Podcast. Go up there and hit that add button. So then whenever I drop an episode, whenever we let it out, it'll just come to you and you'll see it. You can listen to it whenever. You're taking a dump, cutting the grass, You know how I listen to podcasts all the time. So add me at Crew Matt Hamm. Craftman Pack Fan. Anything left?
I'm good, man.
All right, man. We out.
Peace.